Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So today I thought I would bring you along as I make myself something easy to chew, high in protein, and something that will help promote healing. You'll have to stay tuned to find out what that is. Well, I'm back, y'all. So for those of you who've been on my channel, you know that last week I had 2 dental implants placed. Y'all, I'm just gonna tell you it was rough. And I hate to complain, but it was pretty rough. So I am feeling better today, but part of the instructions from the oral surgeon was to only eat soft food. And honestly, guys, how much soup can one person eat? I have eaten a lot of soup, and I wanted something and eggs. I wanted something a little bit different today. And always consult your physician. This is not meant to be taken as medical advice, but when you've had an injury or a surgery or you have a wound or wounds, protein is one of the components in our diet that can help us heal well. Of course, you want adequate vitamins and minerals and all those good things too. But I was like, I don't think I can face eggs or soup for breakfast. And I happened to think about a recipe. I made it a few years ago on the channel, so it's been quite a while, and we have a lot of new subscribers. Excuse me for pulling up my britches. And it is a protein waffle. So for those of you who are gluten intolerant or who avoid gluten for dietary reasons, this is gluten-free. It is also sugar-free in the way that I'm going to make it. There's a few ways you can adapt it. I'll share as we go along by using lower fat ingredients, only the egg whites, not the whole egg, etc. But I'm not as concerned about the calories in this because it's been a struggle to eat, believe it or not. I hardly ever miss a meal. So this recipe originally came from Lady Boss. Now, that gal sold her company off. I don't know what it's called now. I don't know if you can still buy the protein powder. But let's face it, in today's day and age, you can buy protein powder everywhere and in every flavor. I particularly liked hers because I felt the ingredients were cleaner, number 1. Number 2, it is sugar-free. And number 3, the flavor I chose, and it was the only one at the time it came in, I believe, was vanilla birthday cake. Because a lot of protein powders are chocolate. And if you like chocolate, that's great. But if you're like me and you're like, meh on the chocolate, not so great. So the first thing, I'm going to be using my NutriBullet here. So any type of a blender will work. You don't have to specifically have the NutriBullet, or a generic smoothie maker will work as well. So the first thing we need is a cup of oatmeal, and this is going to go into the cup that will then go into the NutriBullet. So let's measure that out. And you could use quick oats. I am going to use, excuse me for clunking if you're wearing headphones. Guys, I try really hard not to ding. Bing. I'm using old-fashioned oats just because I think they're better for you. They're not as processed. So, but you can use either. Doesn't matter. So let's get our cup in there. And a little for the counter. So y'all, this is a typical Ohio fall. Today, it's gonna be 77 degrees. We've already had a couple freezes. It's been in the 30s at night. So it's the type of day, or the type of weather, excuse me, where you start out like full on ensemble for cold weather and you end the day in shorts and a tee, right? So here we go. The next item that you need, and we're going to grind this all up together, is baking powder, and you need a teaspoon. Now, I had a lot, guys, a lot of unkind comments on my Rice Krispie treat recipe. Yeah, I never said it was healthy. I also, as a diabetic, didn't eat it. Yes, I gave it to people who ate it, but you know, life is all about balance, and do I eat perfectly? Am I perfect in all aspects of wellness? No, I'm not. And wellness is a lot more than just the food you put in your body. So here's our teaspoon of baking powder. Look at me not clinking around. I use the aluminum free. If I didn't say that, I apologize, y'all. I am still getting rid of, the surgery lasted about 2 hours. I had 4 rounds of the anesthetic because it's very short acting, and it's taking a while for my mind to come back. So I'm going to spare your ears on this, but what you want to do is you want to grind this into a flour. So first I'm going to shake it, get that baking powder well distributed. I'm going to snap it into the NutriBullet. Let me get this ground up, and we'll come back with next steps. So I hope you'll stay tuned. So here's what we have, is just some nicely powdered up oats or oat flour. I did shake it a few times and then reprocess, shake it and reprocess. If you use quick oats, they're more slivered up, so you may not have to do that. So I'm just gonna dump that out in a bowl, because we're gonna use the same container, and we're gonna start building our wet ingredients. So when you think about a regular waffle recipe, it generally has quite a lot of oil. It has eggs, it has sugar, and it may have extracts or vanilla. Sorry, guys. I could never be a drug addict. Can I just say that? Because, oh my word. Well, first of all, I kind of look like a drug addict, y'all. A little trouble with the IV there. But it's so hard to get it out of your system. I am just drinking lots and lots of water and trying to get lots and lots of rest. Okay, so in the NutriBullet, we are going to put our cottage cheese. Now, I would have purchased low-fat cottage cheese. However, I didn't have any cottage cheese, and cottage cheese would have been a good item to have had on hand the first couple days, because I like it just with salt and pepper on it, or just pepper on it, because it's high in protein and it's very, very simple to chew. So in my little town, we do have a grocery store. I use that term very loosely. I have been in 7-Elevens that are bigger, so it's very small, and their low-fat cottage cheese was expired, which I did tell them, and so I had to end up buying the full fat or the 4%. I'm not terribly worried about it, but if you're really watching your cholesterol or your fat, you would definitely want to pay attention to that. So we need half a cup of cottage cheese. And if I didn't say this, y'all, I washed my hands very well before I started. I get a lot of that too. I've been working on unmolding soap from our soap making class. And so I wanted to be sure I washed up all my molds. So here we go. Half a cup of cottage cheese. And a spatula would work better, but y'all know I can't have everything. I'm shocked I even have a spoon. Can I just say that? Okay. The next ingredient is the egg component. Now, these are my beautiful girls' eggs, and they're doing pretty well on their laying. I had, when it first got really cold at night, I had about a week where they really slacked off, except for Miss Nona. I'm so proud of her. She is giving me an egg pretty much every day, and let me show you this. I've shown it before, but it's so stinking cute, I can't help myself. Her eggs have gotten slightly bigger, but she is 7 months old, so I don't know that she will grow anymore or her eggs will get any bigger. So here's the difference. So I tell her every morning, where's my 16 eggs for my omelet? So I'm gonna save these for eating because they're just so, so cute. Or maybe we'll make a quiche. I've been kind of craving quiche. Lorraine. All right, so you can use 2 whole eggs, or 1 egg and 2 whites, or 3 whites. Now, y'all, with the cost, even though, you know, I have my own chickens, with the cost of food, and I've washed these well, I am not throwing away egg yolks, and I'm not a custard eater, so that's not an option for me. I'm just going to use the 2 eggs, but I'm trying to give you some options if you're concerned about calories, which I probably should be, or fat content. So 2 beautiful eggs from my girlies, and I do crack into a bowl. I collect eggs multiple times a day because I'm often outside seeing my girly girls. So I've never gotten a bad egg, but you never know, right? Okay, the next thing we need is 1/2 cup of water. So, yep, I forgot my liquid measuring cup. Let me grab the 1/2 cup of water real quick. So y'all have to drop me a comment. What's your weather like? Are you having those pretty sunny days and cool nights? Ooh, well, I guess I don't know how to measure half. We definitely have been, but we are extremely dry and still on a burn band. So 1/2 cup of, I'm using RO water, but you know, water's fine. Tap water. Next, it calls for 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Personally, I like avocado oil. You can use olive. If you use olive, because it has a stronger flavor, I would use the classic olive oil versus the extra virgin. And I am going to measure this, y'all. I could probably eyeball it, but I don't want to see if I can add extra fat. You know, I want to try to keep this relatively healthy. All right. Next, we need our teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's probably a little generous, but that's okay, right? And we're gonna whirl this up in the NutriBullet. So even though we had to dirty the blender, so to speak, you don't have to wash it in between. So let me process this. I'm gonna plug in my new little Dash waffle maker because I'm gonna make really small waffles. These waffles are, wait, what happened to the protein powder? Okay, we add that afterwards. I didn't think it went in the NutriBullet. Anyway, yeah, let me just get this blended up. I'll be right back. You know, it usually comes back around. See why I don't do well on medications or pain medications? That might be a little bit of it too. I have a regular size waffle maker. I bought it years ago at Walmart for like $10. It's not the best or most even cooking waffle maker. And these particular waffles are sweet when you put the protein powder in, which we're gonna do next. And they also have more of a cake-like texture. So you don't need as much waffle to feel satiated. So let's add our protein powder. And I just have this in a canister. So it came in a pink and white bag. I'm not even sure, guys, if you can still get it. If you can, it is pricey, but I'll link it in the description box. So we need a 1/4 cup of protein powder of your choice, and I'm using the Lady Boss Lean Vanilla Birthday Cake protein powder. And I'm gonna add that in right with the oats and the baking powder that we did earlier. Stick the measuring scoop in there. Another good option, and again, guys, not medical advice, but if you're looking to have enough protein for your healing needs, smoothies are a good option. You can really put a lot of protein. You can put collagen in there. It's just easy. It's easy to chew if you've got dental problems, if you have dental problems. All right, so let me grab my spatula. And, oh, y'all, that vanilla smells heavenly. So the Dash little waffle maker, oh, y'all can't see it. I mean, it's tiny, y'all, and it's non-stick, but I think it's going to be a really good size for this application. And if you need to eat, you know, 3 or 4 of them, you could. So we're going to add our liquid ingredients that we blended up right into the bowl. And the Dash egg cooker does not have egg cooker. They also make an egg cooker that I swear by. The waffle maker does not have settings like high, medium, low. It just doesn't. So we're going to see how this works. So it's kind of the maiden voyage. Now this batter looks thin, but I haven't made these for a long time. When I was trying to get my mother to eat, I would make her protein balls, pecan protein bites, and she didn't care for the waffles. She said it was too much like eating cake. Cake, good. My mom was a tiny little 90-pound woman, so. And I'm not. All right. So let me grab here. I'm going to use a ladle. It's thickening up a little bit as it sets. I think you could also do this with buckwheat, and I do like buckwheat flavor. Okay, let's try our first waffle. And I am notorious for running over the waffle maker. So let's try not to do that, Kym. All right. So let me allow this to cook. I'll bring you back, show you the thickness, you know, what I think of it. If this is too thin of a batter, yeah, because I do have fairly large eggs, you could thicken it up with a little bit more protein powder, or you could grind up some more oats. Now, since I've put wet into my NutriBullet and I don't have 2 cups, probably what I will do is just add protein powder. But let's give it some time to cook. I'll bring you back. We'll make up a few. This is gonna make a lot, y'all, a lot. They freeze very well. Just wrap them tightly and then put them into your freezer bag so they don't absorb odors and they're less likely to freezer burn. And there's a little blue light on the top which had gone off, and I took that as preheated, so I'm gonna wait until I either smell it burning, it smells amazing, or the light goes off. And it's steaming well, if y'all can see that. Isn't that the cutest little thing you've ever seen? And let's get us a plate. One of my chicken plates will work. And I'll bring you back in a few. All right, y'all. It makes a clicking noise when the heating element turns off. So let's, oh, how cute is that? So a little underfilled, but that's better than overfilled, and that is not done. So let's let it cook a little bit longer. I can't believe there's no switch on this, but there isn't. And you know, if this doesn't work, guys, we'll pull out the big waffle maker. So I hope you'll stay tuned. First one, a little challenging to get out, but light, fluffy. Back note of that vanilla. It's not super sicky sweet, which is good. It does have more of a, you know how Belgian waffle is like soft on the inside but crunchy on the outside? That's really good. I didn't put enough batter in, so this time I used 2 full ladles. Let me make up a batch of these, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about toppings. If you're worried about, well, you know, I don't like sugar-free syrup. I don't want to consume sugared syrup. Maple syrup is quite pricey. I don't want to put butter on them. Let me give you a couple options that are really, really good. So I'll see you in just a few. All right, here's the trick. I know it says non-stick. Do yourself a favor and spray it, because they come out beautifully when you do. So let me finish these up, and then I will give you my thoughts for toppings, and we'll do a final taste test. Y'all, we ended up with, would have been 8 or 7.5 beautiful waffles. These are a little darker. This was before I figured out that they stuck a little bit. And I'm going to talk about the Dash waffle maker and give you my thoughts on it as well. But let's talk a little bit about toppings. So, a multitude of things that you could put on it if you're avoiding the butter syrup route. I don't find these need any butter whatsoever. And for reheating purposes, y'all, toaster works fine. So let's start here with my favorite and what I'm going to try. So this is some of my homemade applesauce, and it is only sweetened with maple syrup. Now that is still a sugar. If you are diabetic, you need to check with your endocrinologist or your healthcare professional to find out if that is acceptable for you. But in the quantity I'm going to eat it, I'm not worried. This has loads of cinnamon. It's almost like an apple butter. Oh, I didn't mean to stick my mouth in it. Guess the whole jar's mine, whoops. This is amazing. But you could make a low sugar applesauce or a no sugar applesauce. You can buy it in the store if you're not thus inclined to make and can it. I had made this for my mom, and about the time I made it was when Mom said, yeah, I'm over the applesauce. God rest her soul. But, you know, we eat what we like, right? So that is one option, and that's what we're going to do our taste test with. I did buy, and honestly, y'all, I think I got this from Azure, but it's made by Schmuckers. It's Santa Cruz Organic Dark Roasted Peanut Butter. And if you look at the ingredients, it's organic roasted peanuts, 1% less of salt. In 2 tablespoons, it has 9 grams of protein. I wouldn't eat 2 tablespoons. The flavor of this is amazing, but it separates horribly and it's really hard to get stirred up. I would not repurchase this product, not from a health standpoint, from an annoyance standpoint. So my alternative was to go to the Jif no sugar added. But in full disclosure, this does have some palm oil in it. So if you're concerned about consuming palm oil, this may not be a great option. I have never tried making my own peanut butter, but I may start doing that in very small batches because it all is going to separate when it's homemade. Another option, and don't knock it till you try it, y'all, is yogurts. You can buy a Oikos or one of the sugar-free, low-fat, no-fat type yogurts. I particularly like the Greek God honey vanilla yogurt, and it's fairly clean, guys. It has cultured pasteurized grade A milk. It does have brown cane sugar, cream, honey, pectin, which, you know, is a thickener like you use for jelly, and vanilla extract. So this is a pretty clean item as well. You could put freeze-dried fruit. You could put, fresh fruit. I am so sorry. Now I'm going to have the hiccups. And so far as I know, guys, I didn't hiccup through the surgery. But let's do a taste test before these cool down completely. So this applesauce, as you see, is super duper thick, which is the way I like it. While I was waiting on my waffles to cook, I actually went out and looked at the local orchard to see what their apple crop looked like. Oh my word, y'all, they have every apple you could ever want. Like I said, this is not super sweet at all. So let me do a thumbnail here, and then we'll do a taste test. All right, guys, taste test time. I'm starved to death. So let me show you the inside texture of this. Maybe do it this way. So it's cake-like. It's light, it's fluffy. And then the outsides are like a little caramelized, a little bit crispier. That's probably too big of a bite. Let me take just a small bite. So good, y'all. One thing to note, and I'd kind of forgotten this, once you mix up the batter, leave it set for a little bit because it thickens upon standing. Whether it's from the protein powder or the oats, it's probably from the oats. I'm not sure. It's not sicky sweet. When you quit eating lots of sugar, like I used to, things taste sweeter to me now. Soft enough to chew, even though I only have one side I can chew on. And I still have, if y'all can see, boing, boing, boing. Still have a little bit of fluid, but my swelling didn't start till about 3 days after, and y'all, I had like this huge bag under mine. But anyway, that's all past. So let's talk a little bit about the Dash egg cooker. Looks, we'll do a scale of 1 to 10. Looks, it's so, so cute. 10 out of 10. Function, does it do what it's supposed to do? It absolutely does. What I will say is I'm going to have to deduct some points because it does stick. Now, whether it's the recipe, I'm not sure. But in my big waffle maker, this recipe has never stuck. So I think it could possibly be just the nature of this egg cooker. But just a quick little spray and you're off and you're cooking. Would I repurchase it? I absolutely would. I think it's really cute for kids. I like the portion size, and even you can make the big waffle, you know, in the 4 squares, but I just think this is really cute and it matches my kitchen. But I really do like the function. It definitely cooks way better than my big waffle maker, which I almost pulled out and I was like, nope, we're gonna get through this. So drop me a comment below. What do you like on your waffles? How would you change up the toppings? Is there a different recipe that you like? And again, y'all, if you use the low-fat cottage cheese and you use only egg whites, you're gonna lower your calories and you're gonna lower your fat. This is absolutely delicious and I highly recommend that you give it a try. So my plan right now, y'all, is to see you on Thursday. I'm feeling well enough now. I may not be running a marathon, but I can't foresee not being able to keep up with my video schedule this week. Thank you all for your thoughts, your prayers, your emails, your kind wishes. I knew that hiccup was coming. Excuse me a minute here. It's always nice to know that people are lifting you up to the Lord and praying for your well-being, and I know it made all of the difference. So what's next for me in my dental journey? I'm hoping that is my last ever dental implants, but I have to wait 4 months before I can actually get the teeth. So the implant itself is not a tooth. It is a screw, a threaded screw that they screw into the bone. So it has to heal around that screw so it's secure, The last thing you would want is to get a tooth bite into something and rip that screw out of the socket, we'll call it. So yeah, I'm still going to be a partially toothless wonder. And I know my smile isn't as big on this side, but it'll come back. It's just a little swollen and it's very, very sore. And it feels like the knots from the sutures are like the size of a quarter. It's just really, really irritating, but that's okay. It will heal. So I plan to see you on Thursday. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. If you know someone who's looking for a gluten-free or a lower sugar or a higher protein breakfast that their kiddos will eat and enjoy, why not share my video? There's a button right below the screen that says share with an arrow, and when you hit that, it'll bring up whatever type of sharing ability you have, whether it's text or a type of social media. All right, guys, I will see you Thursday, but until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.